What is up, YouTube? This is Luis Joel, and I'm coming at you guys with another recipe. We're gonna be making smoked pot roast. You guys are gonna love me for this one. This recipe takes a few steps to make, but it's so well worth it. So yeah, let's get into it. We're gonna start with a USDA choice chuck roast that I got from Costco. And these are just some of the ingredients we're gonna be using today. Not everything is shown here, but you'll see later on. We're going to be putting these in a pan just because we're going to be smoking these in the Masterbuilt electric smoker. We're going to start seasoning off the chuck roast with this Sex on the Beef salt shaker. This stuff is just mainly salt but with other spices in it. I'm also adding my own homemade barbecue spice mix. If you guys want to know what's in this, just check out my smoked brisket recipe. It shows everything that's in here. Now we're going to take these small potatoes, make sure they're nice and rinsed off. We're going to drizzle a little bit of this extra light olive oil on them. I'm also going to be using this garlic spread by Johnny's. I'll leave a link in the description below as to how to get this. But if you don't have this, just use regular garlic powder and other herbs. And this is a whole yellow onion and half of a red onion. And some baby carrots that we just chopped up. I'm just adding that to the mix. Now we're just going to mix everything up so that way everything's nice and coated with the seasoning. And that's how you want it to look. Now we're breaking out the Masterbuilt electric smoker. And we're going to be using hickory wood chips today. Now I'm just going to add some wood chips to the smoker and set the temperature for 270 degrees. We're going to be smoking these chuck roasts for about 2.5 hours. After the Masterbuilt electric smoker is preheated, we're going to go ahead and add the chuck roasts and the potatoes and carrots. Now this isn't going to fully cook the chuck roast. This is mostly just to get the smoke flavor. We're going to finish these off in the oven later on. Same with the potatoes and the onions and carrots. I'm just going to add some warm water to the water pan. It'll help regulate the temperature and also, steam up the vegetables. Now we're just going to crack the vents open on the smoker a little bit just so that way we get as much smoke flavor hitting the meat as possible. Now we're going to be making a braising liquid, and here are just some of the ingredients we're going to be using to make that braising liquid. Just going to take a pot and we're going to pour in about 4 cups of whatever beef broth you would like to use. We're going to be using maybe around not even a cup of sherry cooking wine. I don't have red wine, so just use whatever wine you like. I have sherry, so that's what I'm just using today. Going to be doing about a tablespoon of tomato paste. And we're going to be using about 2 beef bouillon cubes. Notice I only put 1 in now, but later on I add another one just for flavor. You want to stir all that in to make sure it's well incorporated. And we're going to be using some reduced soy sauce, about 2 tablespoons of that. Now remember, we already seasoned the beef chuck roast, so don't add too much just because you don't want this braising liquid to be too salty. And about 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. I go a little heavy with the Worcestershire sauce. Now we're going to stir this up to get everything well incorporated, and we're going to simmer that on a medium to high heat. And we're going to be pouring in, just for a little bit of sweetness, some light brown sugar. About 2-3 tablespoons of that. Maybe a little more than 2-3 tablespoons, but yeah, we're not measuring exactly here. Now we're just gonna taste it to see if it needs any more seasoning. And like I said before, I add another bouillon cube for flavor. And we're just gonna taste this again to see if it's okay. Yep, and it's perfect. After about an hour and a half, we're gonna go ahead and stir up the vegetables and flip over the chuck roast just to get a nice even smoke. Now you want plenty of airflow in between the two pans, so just keep them about a rack apart from each other, just so that way there's enough smoke flavor getting infused into the meat and into the potatoes. And with the Masterbuilt electric smoker, we always want to check the wood chips to make sure we're getting plenty of smoke. So we're going to just refill the wood chip tray with more wood chips. Alright, after about 2.5 hours, we're going to take the chuck roasts out and we're going to put them in a baking pan. Do make sure to save all the juice. We're going to be adding that in the pot just so that way it could add some more moisture. And we're going to take about a cup of the braising liquid that we made earlier and we're going to pour it in, and we're going to throw this in the oven at about 350 degrees for 2 hours just to tenderize the meat. After about 2 hours, we're gonna go ahead and check on the beef. And since it looks pretty good, we're gonna go ahead and add the potatoes, carrots, and onions. We always save this for last because we don't want to overcook the potatoes and carrots. And we're gonna pour in the rest of that braising liquid that we made earlier. And that's how you want it to look. We're going to throw this back in the oven for another half hour to cook the potatoes. Alright, after about another half hour, we're going to just check to see how everything's looking. We're going to see if the beef is pretty tender and if the potatoes are nice and soft. And as you can see, these potatoes are pretty soft. Yeah, and the beef is pretty soft. It's just falling apart. So this next part's optional. I want to thicken up the gravy from the sauce that we made. So I'm just going to take about 2 tablespoons of cornstarch and mix it up with equal parts water. I'm just going to make a cornstarch slurry to thicken up the sauce. And off camera, I separated some of the juice from the pot and added it into a small little simmering pot. And I'm just going to add the cornstarch to that to thicken it up. Now we're going to stir that in and simmer it on a low heat until it thickens up. And as you can see, it's pretty thickened up now. Now this, guys, is what you call a money shot. You want to just pour all the gravy all over the meat and the potatoes just to make sure everything's well coated and covered. And make sure you have a crowd or an audience with you so they could witness the glorious waterfall of gravy. You guys can serve this up with whatever you want, mashed potatoes, rice, whatever fixings that you prefer. It's super tender. It's got that hint of smoky flavor, a little bit of sweetness from the brown sugar. Absolutely to die for, guys. You have to try this. Make this for your family, make this for your friends, and believe me, they're gonna love it. There you guys have it. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.